Hello everyone, this is Caleb from Cosmic Hat Games with another Duels of Fortune character showcase. Today, for our first post-early access launch showcase, we'll be breaking down the colossal crushing convict who craves a worthy challenge, Baron BRIGHTSTAR. Baron is a full-on big-bodied grappler. He wants to get in close and deal massive damage, primarily through his wide arsenal of unblockable grappling moves. While his slow speed can sometimes make it a challenge to close the gap, Baron has a few key tools that can help him get the upper hand if used correctly. Stepping into the ring, let's first take a look at Baron's beefy command normals. While we don't usually cover plain normal attacks, as they tend to serve similar functions across most characters, in this case, Baron's crouching heavy is a bit special, and is just too important to skip over. It might not look like much on its own, but all you have to do is hold down the heavy button to see the true power of this attack. Not only does the shockwave cover the ground of the entire screen, it's also fully jump cancelable from any range, letting you potentially start a combo if you manage to catch the opponent off guard with this move. Moving on to the actual command normals, Baron's back heavy is Giant Tackle. Baron charges forward a short distance, knocking the opponent away on hit. The move has 3 hits of armor for much of its duration, letting Baron absorb most attacks like they're nothing while simultaneously closing the distance. And Baron's jumping down heavy is Body Press. Baron falls straight to the ground with his limbs splayed out. The move carries Baron's horizontal momentum and hits overhead, letting him use it as a jump-in tool, but it also works well as a combo extender. For round 2, it's time to show off the meat of Baron's moveset with his special moves. Baron's neutral special is BRIGHTSTAR Bomber. This is one of Baron's signature techniques, a grab into a power slam that deals a very considerable amount of damage for a special move. The move can also be used in the air, though it differs a lot in both its visuals and functionality. In the air, Baron will lunge upward to grab the opponent out of the sky and chokeslam them back into the ground. This deals less damage than its grounded counterpart, but in exchange grants a hard knockdown, making it an excellent combo ender. Next up, we have the bigger and more bombastic of Baron's grounded command grabs, Grand BRIGHTSTAR Bomber. For this move, Baron introduces the game's second unique command input special, requiring you to perform a half-circle motion starting from a forward position. With such ludicrous power at your disposal, and on a much faster grab, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder for it. It's worth it though, as you're rewarded with the single highest damage special move in the game, rivaling the power of even some super attacks. Before Baron jumps into the air, you can hold left or right to make him drift slightly in that direction, giving you a bit of extra control over your positioning. This is especially important because on top of everything else, this move can also start a combo if you're close enough to the corner, leading to some downright explosive combo damage. Despite all its strengths, there are still some cases in which you might want to use the regular BRIGHTSTAR Bomber over its grand counterpart, mainly thanks to its more difficult input. Weigh your options, but know that you always have this destructive central move to rely on for big damage. Moving on from that, Baron's back special is DARKSTAR Lariat. Baron charges forward and swings his arm for a big hook punch. This move doesn't have armor, but it's completely projectile invincible while traveling, and carries you a considerable distance. Combined with your back heavy, it gives you multiple options for approaching, especially against more defensive characters. This move also sees use as a great combo extender, letting you pick up a launched opponent from greater distances than you might expect. These aren't the only draws of the move though, as you can also press special again while traveling to stop in place and perform Orbital Grapple. When Baron grabs an opponent with this, he will turn around and charge directly to the opposite wall, slamming the opponent into it with a hard knockdown. The grab's a bit slow, but if you manage to land it, you immediately back the opponent into a corner, putting you in a perfect position to pressure them with everything you've got. These moves prove that there truly is no running from this hulking beast. And Baron's down special is Meteor Cannon. This is a powerful armored charge punch with 3 stages, each adding more damage and new properties to the attack. At level 1, the move is nothing special, with little reward for a successful hit aside from the damage. Starting at level 2, however, this move shows its true worth, as it gains the ability to crumple a grounded opponent on hit. This state leaves the opponent completely vulnerable for a very long time, letting you follow up in just about any way your heart desires. Finally, at level 3, the attack becomes unblockable, making it much more difficult to stop. At any point while charging the move, you can also backdash to cancel it, giving you a quick bailout option and letting you potentially bait the opponent into an unfavorable position. A useful defensive tool that can net you some massive reward for using it well. Final round. Let's end this showcase at maximum power with Baron's super moves. Baron's neutral super is Starbreaker Slam. Baron leaps into the air to grab the opponent and slams down onto them with the full force of his body weight. The move is air invincible for a short time on activation, making it perfect for catching an opponent who tries to jump away from your grasp. The damage dealt is well above average for a super move, giving you a nice hefty reward for landing it. A straightforward but extremely effective finisher. And Baron's down super is Muscle Form, Red Supergiant. This is an install super in which Baron buffs up his muscles to an extreme size. During this time, he gains an overall damage increase and a passive form of armor called Tough Armor. Unlike normal armor, which breaks after a certain number of hits, Tough Armor will only break if hit by a high damage single hit attack. This makes it very effective for closing the distance on your opponent, as most of their attacks won't even be able to flinch you. Like most other installs, the effect won't run out if you're in the middle of a combo, even if the timer expires, letting you keep that extra damage up for even longer. You'll have to be careful when the effect does end though, as Baron is vulnerable for a brief time while powering down. It's nothing too significant, but it's worth watching out for, especially against faster characters. Use Baron's overwhelming strength to crush the opponent's defenses before beating and grappling them into submission. Strike fear into your enemies' hearts and exploit that fear to force them right where you want them. Due to his slower speed, Baron largely relies on coaxing the opponent into making mistakes and punishing those mistakes as hard as he can. Remember that all of Baron's grappling attacks are unblockable, so if you can get the opponent to sit and keep their guard up, you'll have no problem busting right through that guard and showing them the absolute raw power that you possess. That's all for today's showcase. If you like what you see, you can try the game out for yourself through the links in the video description. You can also follow us on Twitter or join the Discord community to keep up with the game's development. We hope you look forward to getting your hands on Baron, and to more showcase videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching.